Alright, so I have here the Everlast 211 SI. It's a Mig TIG stick machine. It's got a lot of features, such as high frequency start for the TIG. It goes up to 200 amps. It's dual voltage, so it works on both 110 or 220. It holds 10-pound spools of MIG wire, and altogether it's a great machine. I'm going to show you how basically to set up the various features. It's not hooked up to anything, as you can see here, but I just figured I'd walk you through the menu system, which is really easy to understand, but if you don't have the welder, you might not be able to tell if you're looking at buying one of these. So I'm going to turn it on. Sorry if the fan's a little loud, but so when it starts, usually it will go to the last memory setting that it had saved whenever you unplug it. And I believe the memories settings, okay, yes, the memory settings are saved whenever you unplug it. It has 9 memories that you can pre-program, and that's across MIG, TIG, or stick. So you can have memory setting 1 be a TIG setting, whereas memory setting 2 is a MIG setting. So instead of having to switch, a bunch of stuff up here, if you just leave your Mig Gun plugged in and switch your ground over, then you can just hop straight into MIG welding without having to really adjust your settings over and over and over again. So the memory settings are cool, but if you want to just start from scratch and you don't have anything on here, you hit the button right here next to Everlast, and that goes off this tree, which is MIG, spool, which I've never used, TIG, and stick from left to right. And as you mash this, it just selects between them, and all of the settings around the screen change based on where you have it. So for example, this is on the stick setting, and it has a hot start, so it's showing 60 volts and 10 amps because I haven't used the stick welding feature. But you can turn it up in clicks of 1, or if you push it in, it'll do steps of 10. So that's really, really cool on a machine like this. Just little stuff like that makes it really cool. So, so if I wanted to save that as, say, setting 9, since I'm not going to use it very often, I'd go back over to stick, push it in, raise it up to 100. That's the hot start for stick. And all I do is hold this down. See the save light come on? So every time I go to setting 9 over here, it'll set up the machine like you're about to stick weld, which is really cool. So this is a MIG setting, like setting 2, setting 3, but if I cycle all the way through back to 9, you can see the same settings that I had a minute ago. Stick welding, 100 amps, 60 volts hot start. So the memory is a really, really cool feature of this welder. As far as, let's go to MIG welding, because this is mostly, it's a fully capable MIG and TIG welder. DC only, so you can't do any aluminum with this machine. But as far as getting your settings set on here, it has 2 modes. It has a standard mode and a synergic mode. And the synergic mode, basically, once you get your settings dialed in here in the standard mode, so say I really wanted 200 and I don't even know if these are good settings or not, but 252 inches per minute, but I wanted 19 volts. And that's just what my settings and everything are working for me. What I can do now is go over to the synergic mode. Ooh, that didn't happen right. What's supposed to happen is when you get synergic, you set your MIG inches per minute and volts. You set them the way you want them, so 19. Okay, here's how this works. So if I wanted 252, like I had said earlier, and then I go to volts and I wanted 19. Okay, so in order to do the synergic mode, you have to start in synergic. But what synergic does is it changes the inches per minute, or amps, and the voltage based on a predetermined graph. So if you just want more heat, you turn the knob and you can see it's adjusting both settings. And it should give you good weld settings no matter where you turn this knob. if you initially fine tune it with the settings that work for you. So that's just kind of a cool feature, especially for a $1,000 welder. I mean, that's expensive, but for all the features this thing has, that's really cool to have. As far as all that, you can also, it has settings over here for the Synergic MIG, like steel, stainless steel, 308 through 316, or AL 4053 and 5356. So I don't know if that's like for spool gun aluminum or something like that. I'm not really familiar with any of that. I only TIG weld aluminum. So moving on from the MIG mode, we could go to TIG, which is something I'm much more familiar with. And with TIG, it has high frequency start or lift start, which is kind of a strange feature to have on a high frequency start machine. Just, I guess, if you felt like kicking it old school or something, I don't know. Doesn't make much sense to me, but yeah, it has it. As far as the TIG functions, you have the pedal and torch functions of 2T, MIG and TIG, 4T, MIG and TIG, and pedal TIG. So 4T, from what I understand, is you can set your upslope and downslope, inches per minute or amps, whatever it is, and hit the button once to ramp up and then hit the button again to ramp down. And some people can weld like that. I've never been able to figure it out, but I use either the pedal or 2T. Just simple, dead simple to do, and assuming you have your settings right, you should be good to go. But it's a great welder packed with tons of features. It MIG welds fantastically well. TIG welding is effortless on DC with it. I mean, it's a great welder. So far I love it, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. The accessories that come with it are also really, really good. The Tig Torch and the Mig Gun, I will show them to you actually. So let's see here. So the Tig Torch has this nice denim sheath on it. It has a button. I went ahead and put a gasoline setup on it, but it has a nice button on the handle. It's a rigid torch, so it's not flexible, which is, I kind of prefer flexible torches, and I usually run my personal one. But everything about this is quality. I mean, the gas hose fittings and the DINS connector, just everything's really nice that comes with this welder. This is the Mig Gun that comes with it. Here, let me move my nifty CO2 bottle. So the Mig Gun that comes with it is called the MiG 15. I don't know if that's specific to Everlast, but great gun. Never had a snag with it, and yeah, hope you enjoyed my review.